Now, we must also be real. We must be honest with the population. Having an armed citizenry comes with a price. And that is part of liberty. Driving comes with a price. 50,000 people die on the road every year. That's a price. You get rid of driving, you'd have 50,000 less auto fatalities. But we have decided that the benefit of driving, speed, accessibility, mobility, having products, services, is worth the cost of 50,000 people dying on the road. Wow. So we need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen. Right. You can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, yes, by having more armed guards in front of schools.
We could take and dismantle this stupidity very easily and constantly and over again, because by having more fathers in the home, because that's something you can legislate. And by the way, sometimes these fathers in homes are the ones committing the violence. Who cares? Charlie Kirk's just talking out of his ass. But what he does want you to make very clear, which he said the words, let's be very clear. Your kids are going to die, and I don't give a damn. As a matter of fact, I'm looking forward to it, because there's this access to cars that we have, which is awesome. We can increase our transportation, travel, accessibility, deliveries. Everything can happen so much better. But with these guns, we can kill more people. Isn't that the same thing? He continues with this line boldly, somehow speaking in front of folks and thinking this makes sense. Let's watch more.
We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. Sure. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at baseball games? Because we have armed guards outside of baseball games. That's why. How did we stop all the shootings at airports? We have armed guards outside of airports. How do we stop all the shootings at banks? We have armed guards outside of banks. How do we stop all the shootings at gun shows? Notice there's not a lot of mass shootings at gun shows. There's all these guns because everyone's armed.
I'm not sure how many gun shows he's been to, but I get this. I've heard reports, at least, that gun shows, all these guns that they're selling aren't loaded, aren't full of ammunition, and people aren't carrying around and pointing them at each other. As a matter of fact, I think they'd only like to come in with their other guns. I don't know. Maybe if they do, that's probably a gun show you don't want to go to anymore. By the way, there's other aspects of this. He mentioned the God-given rights. It's our God-given rights we have to protect with gun ownership. If God gave you these rights that you're supposed to only protect with gun ownership and shooting each other, how come he didn't create us with guns as hands so that we can get to shooting each other? He gave us certain rights that we're supposed to protect with guns only because God is about guns. Then how come we didn't create them? How come we have these things that are used for everything else? We need guns then. That's something that man created. That's something that man put forward to go ahead and protect his supremacy over other men. Quick and easy ways to kill them. Also, he said we wouldn't have an armed citizenry without gun deaths, and that's something that we just need. So imagine this, Charlie. This armed citizenry, and we're supposed to go ahead and accept gun deaths. What if it's you and your family? Or what if it's someone that you love? What if it's your kids? Suddenly, is it okay? Would you go, yes, my family's dead. That's awesome. Can't wait for more guns. I have a feeling he wouldn't be that happy about it. As a matter of fact, he'd go, why is it that we have to deal with my family dying for someone that I don't know or give a good damn about having more of these guns? But they make sure that they're pretty much immune from these types of conversations and these interactions because they're better than other folks. It's the way they've always gone about it. We have another stop, but actually, I'm curious what you think first here, Sharon.
I think he probably would say something stupid like, who left the door unlocked? Just don't leave the door unlocked. And my family wouldn't have gotten shot up. I mean, he thinks he's so cute. Where's Marjorie Taylor Greene when you need her? Okay. I would rather hear her. Okay, if you want to play that game today, it's pathetic. And by the way, baseball can't even keep people from streaking naked on the field. So I don't know what he's talking about, these armed guards that are protecting everyone. It's just this thing where they want to pile on more guns, more guns, more guns. Let's print them out. Let's shoot up everybody as long as we have the right. Nobody wants it except the NRA and their money.
By the way, people can shoot outside of banks all they want. They could open that front door and shoot every patron in there. But you know what? You know what's protected? All that money in the bag is protected. Is the money just sitting on the shelf? Is it sitting next to the hand sanitizer and the coffee in the front? No, it's behind closed doors. It's behind serious amounts of glass and safes and all that stuff. And that's their answer for every school in America. The children should be locked behind plexiglass and safes, which cost only $5 to $10 each. And that's something we can put in every school. By the way, since we're talking about this pushback and everything like that and rules, he mentioned cars. You know, there was a point in America when people could drive with beers, people could drive without seatbelts on. And when those rules that would make driving safer so you don't have to kill other folks, when those rules came into place, some folks thought it was radical. Let's watch.
Drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
It's kind of getting common this when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink 1 or 2 beers.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seat belt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to be a communist country.
Still waiting on that communism. They're still waiting on it.
How will history judge you? Okay. Work hard. I have brewski on the way home.
Exact same argument. Same argument throughout history. Everything that changes is communism. Those rules are put in place, and guess what? How many fewer drunk driving incidents there are because of those rules? How about car seats for children? I feel like I've said this so many times, but I know, everyone knows this. But, you know, we don't actually confront our leaders or people that make these decisions with these very basic facts. But communism's coming.